撃部隊接近バルキリー隊前期スクランブル繰り返す前期スクランブル
One of my big blank spots when it comes to anime is probably the giant robot stuff. Of course, I read some Transformers comics as a kid, but I don't know anything about Gundam and I don't know anything about Macross, not until recently, where this game made me check out the movie SDF Macross Do You Remember Love, which actually was really good and very visually impressive for the time. I mean, these days they make all the robots and anime and all the interfaces in the anime, they make them on computers. But like a good hand-drawn computer interface in an old anime, what's better than that?
全艦戦闘配置繰り返す全艦戦闘配置マクロス浮上開始重力制御システムスタンバイ敵戦闘部隊多数高速接近中バルキリー隊は迎撃態勢に入ってください敵さんの登場だ
Now this game for the PlayStation 2, simply titled SDF Macross, is the end-all be-all game for the entire franchise. At the start you have two branching paths, one that follows the movie and one that follows the television show, and whichever one you choose you are presented with a series of missions that closely follow the plot. Now as you can tell from the gameplay, it's a space arcade shooting game, a little bit like your Wing Commander or your Ace Combat. Now everyone who has played those types of games are probably thinking, why don't we see more of those types of games today? Well, the reason for that is that they are probably a little bit tricky to make interesting. I mean, if you boil it down, all you do is kind of like circle around the enemies until you get them on your side and take them out. Now, in a first-person shooter, you can really mix it up by having interesting level design, but in a flying game where you kind of fly around in the open sky, well, there's only really just so much that you can do. But there's a couple of interesting ways that SDF Macross mixes it up. First of all, everyone is flying around in transforming jets. I really like the design of that. Jets, but in space. And having them transform into robots meaning that you can just stop on the spot and really whip around and take out your enemies with missiles or your machine guns. Secondly, they've also tried to diversify the mission design. It's rarely not just about flying up and shooting everyone down. You usually have some kind of goal like defending a base or navigating through an asteroid field to try and get a jump on an enemy, or take out incoming missiles trying to strike down the Macross.
Macross は何をする気だ
ダイダロスアタック
It also just feels very good to play, and the reason for that is probably because it was developed by AM2, the original Sega developer founded by Yu Suzuki, who has made a number of incredible games over the years, such as Afterburner, Virtua Cop, and a whole slew of arcade-perfect ports for many modern consoles, such as Virtua Fighter 5 on the PlayStation 3. These guys and girls know how to make games that feel good. And the big cherry on top is, of course, the presentation. You got all the original music from the 80s, and a constant barrage of chatter from all the other characters of the show who pop up in your heads-up display. And you also get plenty of my personal space anime trope, which is the ability to log on with like 20 missiles and fire them all off at once. I mean, that always looks cool in every game or anime that it's in. So that's pretty much it. Super Dimension Fortress Macross for PlayStation 2. You get a great package, a game that looks great, a game that plays great, and this is why I think it belongs on the list of VIDYA OBSCURA, because it honestly is kind of a hidden gem that I don't hear anyone really talking about. So if you have a way of playing Japanese PlayStation 2 games, do check this one out.